So coming into tonight.
And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Korneluk.
And I'm Chris Kalazewski.
And let me tell you something, Kings fans. We are back from Staples Center. We're going to do something that we haven't had at Staples Center since November 16th. We're going to have fun.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Kings fans. We're back with another episode here to talk about the Montreal game, talk about the Anaheim game, also talk about the game that took place tonight against the Wild. Also going to talk about our reasons why Terry Murray won't be fired. And, of course, we're also going to plug our T-shirts for the holiday season.
So here we go. Blah.
All right, Kings fans, so going into Saturday night, coming off the huge win against the Florida Panthers, hoping to maybe start a winning streak, for
Be
once.
nice.
We've seen all these other teams in the league, hit a hot streak, and hoping the Kings, they could do that. Play the Montreal Canadiens, who they never beat. Keith, what do you got?
What I got is, going to Montreal game, it's a 12:30 start, so by the time you leave, it's 3 o'clock. You're a little tipsy, I'm not going to lie. It was another 2-1 loss. It was nice to see Montreal, an original 6 team in there. The fans, very, very nice. I talked to a few of them. There's just nothing to take out of it, Chris. I mean, we're losing games 2-1. When the team scores 2 goals, we're saying, hey, we're going to lose. Why? Because we can only score 2 goals in a game. And it's just frustrating. At that point, I'm still saying, hey, Terry Murray's our guy. The fans have turned against him, but it was awful.
Yeah, well, the good point in that game that Dustin Penner actually scored a goal, his first of the season.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Dustin Penner for a second. Dustin Penner, coming off that injury, he said, I think he said to the mayor that it's the first time he really, truly felt healthy since the start of the season, which was a positive. Did have a goal, and, as of late, has been really turning it up, making some good plays, which is nice to see. But, Chris, that's the only positive I got out of it.
Yep.
All right, so Los Angeles Kings down in Anaheim to face the Mighty Ducks. Bruce Boudreau, the new coach. Randy Carlyle also, obviously fired. And Boudreau had not been doing too well. The Ducks had dropped a couple of games, so there wasn't that big push there. But, it's typical Kings fashion. We kind of knew coming in that Bruce Boudreau, former coach of the Manchester Monarchs, was going to get his first win. And sure enough, it was a little bit fluky, but he did.
Yeah, no, that's right. You have to kind of look at Boudreau twice because he looks just like Carlisle. Distant cousins,
Exactly.
perhaps.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But this is one of those games. I mean, we're talking about a team that's really like one of the worst in the league, which is great to see. But when you're the Kings and you can't win that game, that's it's disappointing. And yeah, there were some fluky goals, absolutely. I mean, talk about the game winner from Bobby Ryan. I mean, one of the most bizarre plays. I mean, Kopitar gets the face-off win, and Ryan just sort of chips it up, and it makes this fluke sort of, to just sort of lob into the net, and it was a heartbreaker. I mean, you can tell the Kings were just absolutely crushed after that. I mean, obviously they're not going to win with 45 seconds left, as we say all the time. This is not a comeback team. We'll get that later, how that applies tonight. But, losing to the Ducks, they were 2-0 against them so far this season, dominated them like they should have been. But, you leave Anaheim with a loss, and especially to lose that in the final minutes, it's crushing.
As much as I thought, yes, it was fluky goals, and, I thought the Kings did have their moments, Chris. This was the first game when I thought, what, maybe Terry Murray does need to be fired. And I like the guy, I really do. But, God, what's missing is emotion. I mean, where's the guy that's motivating? He said he's not a motivator. It's the player's job to motivate them. And it's just, I don't know. I hate this team right now.
Yeah, I guess one positive take out of that game is that Justin Williams finally scored a goal. He'd gone 17 games. 17 games, Keith. That's like a fifth of the season. I mean, Justin Williams, obviously started off last season on a tear.
Contract year, though.
Gave him the, absolutely got contract year. But luckily it was to break that. But we're counting on this guy to score, but everyone else is absent. Then it's like we have one hot player always in these games, and the loss.
Well, Dustin Penner did have an assist in that game.
He did. The guy's on a point streak.
He has a huge point streak. So coming into tonight, Minnesota Wild. Now, kind of like the Florida Panthers, if we were coming in against the Minnesota Wild, are we really going to lose? No, we'd be crazy. Well, the Minnesota Wild are top of the NHL, so obviously tonight our standards were a little bit lower. What's up, Kings fans? Keith here. Minnesota Wild are in town, and I'm super confident because they suck defensively. The Kings scored 10 goals. Oh, wait.
This is not your father's Minnesota Wild team. This isn't like the defensive-minded Jacques Lemaire team. This is a team that's offensively pretty strong. I wasn't sure about that in the offseason when they made those trades for Heatley and Setaguchi, but it's definitely paid off. And tonight against the Kings, I think they had their fourth liner score twice. we had two guys that scored that I honestly did not know who they were.
I had no idea what their names were. By the way, I think your father's Minnesota Wild would be the Minnesota North Stars. I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe that's just
I
me.
get what you're saying, yeah.
But, first 24 seconds, they score in a wraparound. Now, it seemed like there was some bad ice down by Quick's goal because I felt like his, foot skipped a little bit and he missed it. So it's a very un-Jonathan Quick-like goal. He's, not giving up those softies like he used to, but it really set the tone for the rest of the game. And, it sort of meandered like it would in typical Kings fashion.
Yeah, when you come behind that early and you're fired up, you're back at home, looking to put together another winning streak. But, it absolutely just killed it. The arena was silent, until late into the third when they, were finally getting on the board. But what up, Kings fans? We're back, and it's really the first intermission right now. Kings down, gave up a goal, 24 seconds. I didn't like what I was seeing there after a while, but I'm still seeing a 2-1 Wild win. Hope I'm wrong. I guess another positive for tonight is that Dustin Penner had the goal to break the shutout. The guy is absolutely on a point tear, but we're talking about a guy who's the only one that's on fire right now. That ain't good.
No, it's not good at all. I mean, we have to mention, of course, Andrzej Kopitar boarded in the second period. Looked brutal. He was on the ice for a while and then came out like 2 shifts later. So I thank God for that, because then you have Jared Stoll centering the first line and then Andrei Laktianov and, Colin Fraser centering the third. It's going to be awful. But still, again, and the Kings turned up the heat a lot. They did generate some good scoring chances, but still couldn't put the puck in the back of the net. It ended tonight. The Kings did get another goal by Trent Hunter. A little bit weird there, but they lost 4-2. Hey, what's up, Kings fans? It's the end of the second, and if you're just tuning into this portion of a game, it's 3-0 Wild, so...
You talk about, this team is, there's a bunch of streaky bastards, even Kopitar, who's lighting it up early in this season, has just 3 assists in the last 7 games. And, obviously we mentioned Justin Williams, who went 17 friggin' games without a goal. Then who else we got? Brown has 2 goals and 4 assists in the last 17 games.
Gagne, 2 assists in the last, what is that?
8 games, yeah.
Or 9 games now.
Yeah, no, it's, this is our top 6 right here, and it's just not happening. I mean, yes, we desperately miss Mike Richards, but we put this team together in the offseason hoping that they would have the depth to sort of make up for it, but I'm just not seeing it. They cannot score. 30th. Keith, 30th in scoring.
Very last in the NHL, and, media's calling out the fans saying that, we don't know what we're talking about. Terry Murray won't get fired. And here's the thing. I agree. Terry Murray will not get fired. Do I now think that Terry Murray should be fired? Chris, I'm saying I'm crossing the line. I'm crossing that picket line. I'm no longer union. That's it. I'm saying Terry Murray gots to go.
Yeah, because it's like we can't fire any of the players. It's like the best way to give your team a spark, is to fire the coach. And I like Murray too. He's obviously done a lot building the defense on this team. I like his demeanor, even though it's a little soft sometimes, I think. But I'm on that bandwagon too, and I hate to say it, but I think that this team needs a spark. And I know they'll probably have a weird sort of players only meeting here, and they'll try to Dustin Brown will try to rile up the troops again, like he did during both intermissions tonight, I'm sure. But it's time for a change, and I hate to say it's time to make a coaching change. Not John Stevens.
No. Or Daryl Sutter.
No.
All right, so Kings fans, the Royal Half has a Terry Murray fire alarm going on in his blog, so check that out downstairs. And it basically lets you know when Terry Murray will no longer be emotionless behind the Kings bench. However, we here at KingsCast believe that Terry Murray will never be fired, which is why we present to you the top 5 reasons Terry Murray will never be fired in rapid succession.
That's right, Kings fans. Mike Keaton is available, but he's a dick in the locker room, and D. Lombardi does not like dicks.
The Kings are 6th in the league in goals against, and we all know defense wins championships.
Daryl Sutter is past his expiration date.
Kings fans want him fired, and we all know Kings fans are always wrong.
And finally, Kings fans, the last reason why Terry Murray will not be fired is that Dennis Bernstein says he will not be fired, and Dennis Bernstein is always right. All right, Kings fans, so the holiday season is coming up. At KingsCast, we have an awesome array of shirts in our KingsCast store. Looking for that perfect gift for your wife or kid? Look no more, the KingsCast store.
So here we go. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, joyous Kwanzaa. It's the KingsCast store. We are slashing prices. It is insane.
Yeah, slashing prices. We're talking $19 a shirt, and we're not changing the price for the one dry island shirt. That's $14. Live with it. That's cheap enough.
So here we go. The KingsCast store. Don't overthink it. Just buy it. Bing.
All right, Kings fans, so obviously we're huge hockey fans, you know, but we're also fans of concerts, football, basketball. You know, Keith loves the ice capades.
I kind of do. That's why we are teaming up with Barry's Tickets, ticket broker to the stars.
You know what I like, Keith? Not getting ripped off. Barry's Tickets charges no service fees.
Which is why they are always prompt and secure, so you do not have to think about your neighbors at your courtside seat at the Lakers game.
Looking for tickets to that obscure or hard-to-get-to event? Yeah, Barry's Tickets, they probably have them. And I'm not talking nosebleeds or the ones behind a giant beam.
So click on the link below to get over to Barry's Tickets. Use the discount code KingsCast25. Get 10% off over their already crazy rates at Barry's Tickets. You know you got to. We got to. Let's go. All right, Kings fans, we'll be right back at you next week. It's going to be another wonderful show and, of course, a few wonderful performances by the Los Angeles Kings, I'm sure.
That's right. I want to give a special shout-out to Don Perez, big fan of the show. I got to meet him tonight at Staples Center. Awesome to meet him. Huge fan. So I'm Chris Kalaszewski.
I'm Keith Kordelik, and thank you for watching Overtime by KingsCast.